Why are you in a bunch of debt, 27 years old?
I spent like $10K going to Europe.
Ooh.
Yeah, for 5 weeks. And I know that it's not going to make me look good and people are going to have opinions about this, but I honestly do not regret that for a second.
Well, all right.
It gave me like a reason to want to live again. Honestly, when I quit my job, I had 10 to 15K saved up. Like as emergency
Why'd you quit your
savings.
job?
It was a tough work environment. It was basically one of those things where the boss felt like a Bravo reality TV show.
You're in debt. You're broke. You're not going out to eat. You're in debt. You're broke. You work all the time. You're in debt. You're broke. There's a great place to go when you're broke, to work. Okay? This is what you do. And you bust your butt. And it's scorched earth. No lifestyle. No nothing. You sell so much stuff the kids think they're next. You name the dog eBay and the cat Craigslist. Everything's going out the door. We're getting this mess cleaned up. We're sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Like he was the villain, but also like super hectic and a lot going on. So I'm grateful for the experience and I'm really glad I left there. But I do try to take on freelance clients if it's worth it. But right now I'm just trying to focus on my new job. And it is a pretty new job.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I really like where I am.
Okay, so are you okay?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, no, it's okay. You're just, your voice is shaking, so I just want to make sure.
In general, I do get shaky when I talk too. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, just as someone who is an anxious person and has my own issues with that, I want to make sure.
Thank you.
I have a question for the people that go into debt for a vacation. Now, I'm not judging anyone. I 1000% have gone into debt for vacation. Which sounds crazy, I know, but I'm in front of you guys because I've made poor financial decisions in my life. Not anymore. Haven't made any bad decisions in the last 5 years financially, but I have made poor decisions. And going into debt for a vacation was definitely one of those bad decisions. I will say this was like college age, you know, like I have not done it in forever. Anyway, I want to know how you guys feel about it, like how you feel on vacation. Because when I went into debt for vacation in college, I could not enjoy my vacation. It was so hard for me to enjoy my vacation because it's not like you're buying the flights or X, Y, and Z with debt. You're like paying for everything on the vacation in debt. It's like your vacation is supposed to be fun and relaxing, but it's not fun and relaxing because you're stressed about all the money you spend. So I think I went on one vacation while I was in debt and got into more debt. And I was like, that was the dumbest thing. Anyway, I'm just curious. Do you guys like feel that guilt? And like, is it just you brush it off and you're just like, whatever, I deserve a vacation? Or are you like, do you feel guilty? Like I'm telling you, by the end of it, I'm like, I couldn't even enjoy my vacation because of the anxiety I had about digging myself into more debt doing this. Anyway, no judgment here. I'm just curious because like I've been there.
First off, I want to start by saying this right now. They're saying that the Gen Z is the demographics and the millennials are the demographics that are actually going into debt. But if you ask me, it's when these companies started rolling out buy now, pay later. That's what's starting it. Because without that, no one would be able to go on vacations. You understand? They know what they're doing. They're tricking you guys. So when you buy now, pay later, that's how you go into debt. Because yes, you may pay off the first month, the second month, but something may happen down the line. And now you can't commit to an agreement. Next thing you know, you default, you got a judgment, and now the principal is higher. They're playing games with you guys. This is a setup for them to get money. The credit card companies are not making enough due to the fact that the college kids were getting smart, but now they went backwards. Let's continue though.
On that. But like I said, I just could not enjoy the vacation at all. So like I will never do that again. I'm here to relax and not stress. Now, when I was paying off my debt, I guess I still kind of am, but like all my credit cards, things like that. It's not that we wouldn't go on vacation. The rule of thumb was that we could never go into debt for vacation. And we had to do that vacation cheap as shit. Like, for example, we went on a cruise like December of 2022. That's crazy. That really wasn't that long ago. I was in a bunch of credit card debt. Of course, we just moved across the country and we went on a cruise. And you had to make it as cheap as possible, meaning we had to like stay in the stateroom. We couldn't like upgrade any of our dinners, nothing like that. We did get to decide at like one excursion, and it really wasn't even an excursion, but like one thing to do.
Turns out if you have one mortgage and one car loan, you can't go on vacation anymore. This person's like, sounds like a very fancy vacation. Are you sure you can afford that while you're still in debt? Honestly, and I know this ruffles people's feathers, but I don't even consider us in debt, even though we have a mortgage and a car payment. Yes, I know they're debt, but it's fine. Okay, I don't really consider us like in debt. I don't. We don't have credit cards. We don't have student loans. We don't have other unsecured loans. We have a car loan and one mortgage, and that's it. We only have $7,000 left on our car loan. It should be done by the end of this year. Yes, I'm still going to go on vacation. And again, I don't really consider that debt. Don't come for me. I know that that's not true, but yes, I'm still going to go on vacation. I'm still.
You see, people got things misconstrued. Listen, having a credit card is not the issue. It's how you use it is the issue. Many people use credit cards as, let me just use this money I don't have to purchase something I don't need, only to never need this and look at it and say, wow, I wasted this money for no reason. Listen, if you use it correctly, I'm telling you, you will have no issues. You can have 30 credit cards, assuming they don't all have annual fees. Then you will go into debt. You understand? But I'm going to tell you like this. The rich people don't use cash. Broke people use cash. Rich people use credit. Why? They leverage debt. You got to understand the game. If you never played Monopoly, start all over again. Learn how to play Monopoly and chess. This will help you out in life.
I live my life. Honestly, going on vacation is what I want to be spending our money on. That's why I buy clothes at the thrift store, am tight in other places. It's because I want to spend our money on experiences like going to the zoo and going on vacation and doing things rather than like material items. But yes, we are going on vacation. I said we were going to spend about $3,500. Who knows if that is what we'll end up being at. I'll let you guys know when the time comes what we actually end up spending. $3,500 isn't like a little bit amount of money. I am making money from TikTok. I've been putting so much extra money toward my husband's truck loan. I've been putting money in our high yield savings account. I've been putting money toward our Roth IRA, and I might have to put a little bit less the next couple of months so we can go on vacation, but like I'm totally fine with that.
I just like pulled from made another loan to cover a credit card so we could go on our trip.
Oh my. Okay.
Okay.
And I didn't tell
What do you
him.
mean? Wait, why doesn't he get to know that? Why are we doing that without his knowledge?
Oh.
He thought you were pulling from an emergency fund. Not that that's even better, but actually, no,
I
you
was
said the
gonna
trip
tell
was
him.
pre-planned.
I was gonna tell him. I just
Was, but you didn't, so I don't give it was. You didn't.
Well, no, I
Yeah.
didn't tell him.
Huh?
I didn't tell him.
Why?
Because I mean, I was going to.
But you
I
didn't.
just didn't want him to stress about our trip.
But now you're stressing about the trip, even though the trip is already done because you've borrowed on it and now you have to pay it off. You borrowed, you opened it, you took out a loan. What kind of loan?
Uplift?
Okay.
No. Upstart was the loan I took for the
Upstart.
card. Upstart, yeah. I took that out to pay off a credit card that was maxed out so that we could have spending on the card.
Oh my.
That has
are you
nothing to
talking
do with
about?
that has nothing to do with the vacation.
Well, then what are you talking about? Because that just contradicted your whole thing. I'm confused too. What are you saying?
So yeah, we did finance the vacation that we just took.
From
Financing
what?
a vacation.
On what?
It's like the pre-planned, like a firm, like one of those. It's called Uplift.
So Uplift
you took a
and
loan to
Upstart.
pay off a credit card.
Yeah, they're both two. I have both loans, an Upstart and Uplift.
And which one did you know about? And which one did you not? Or neither? Why? Why? When? When did you do this?
The last week of the month before our trip.
What month?
September.
Okay. The last week of September.
Yes.
You did this.
Yes, I got a loan out and paid off a credit card that was maxed out.
Yeah. Why? But
Women
like,
love
why?
to do
'Cause
this.
that just
I can
it's got
only
my name
imagine
too
her
on it, or is
Amazon
it
account.
No, it's
just
just
yours?
mine. It's
Because
just mine.
it affects us both, and that is not
You-
really a
you
good feeling to
never,
have
like-
that go behind my back, you know.
Yeah,
But
I didn't think you. I think you would understand why I did it, so I didn't figure you were going to be mad.
well,
Understand why you did it. You did it for the vacation.
Correct.
And are you mad?
yeah. I'll say, Matt, I'm pretty disappointed.
Who wouldn't be?
That's kind of a big thing. I thought we were low on funds, you know, during the month because we were taking out to pay for a trip instead of.
I took a lot of vacations.
Since we broke up, where have you gone? You went to Hawaii.
I went to the Bahamas. I've been
trying to
like a
get
couple
over
like
you, my
weekend
boy.
things, but
She went broke trying to get over her ex. Ain't that something? And I guarantee you she probably took another man over there. And she splurged on him. Unbelievable. I'm telling you something like this. Look, people really have the game mixed up They're totally wrong. They don't know how to stay on top. Listen, you don't use money you don't have. If you don't have the cash, don't use the credit card. Plain and simple. If you do not have the same amount of money, right, in possession, if you don't have the same amount of money that it costs for your trip, plus the food and excursions while you're out there and emergency funds on hand or in the bank, you should not be taking a trip. I am sorry. You should not be buying clothes if you don't have the cash for it. You shouldn't be buying anything if you don't have the cash for it, unless it's a household appliance emergency or a health emergency. Or maybe, I don't know. I don't even think you could bail somebody out with credit, but in these situations, that's the only time you should use it. All right? You use the credit card only to play the credit system. You understand? You want to be part of this society. So you use the credit, okay? And you use the cash you already had for it and you pay it off. It's all this buy now, pay later. That's what's getting a lot of you into debt, because you're letting it accumulate and it's accruing too much interest, and the balance keeps getting higher and higher. They're winning. This is why they love to give you things. There's other countries you cannot do this. If you don't have the money, you can't make anything happen.
I mean, I couldn't necessarily afford them, but I did afford them, basically. So, like, I definitely should have gone on the vacation.
What is that?
Okay,
No,
so basically,
Somehow makes
okay,
it work.
so like at the job I was working at during these vacations, I
Oh, by
wasn't.
the way, I'm being told she went to the Hawaii with a guy.
I did.
She did go to Hawaii with a guy.
Exactly.
Didn't really know about that either.
Okay, so I went to Hawaii with that guy, but I had a lot of fun.
Is it? Okay, this was a long time ago, but I went kind of the extended going back sexually with an ex a long time ago. And if you're the one that clearly wants to get together a bit more, that can kind of fuck with you. Fucked with me back then. It took me a long time to kind of move on, and especially if she's out there. I mean, no offense. I mean, other dudes. How do you feel about that, man? Because that's, to me, just having been in that situation over a decade ago, like, get fucked with me, but...
Yeah, no, definitely wasn't fun finding out, like...
But you guys are still sleeping together.
How are people doing this? I see people online going on these extravagant vacations and buying, like, expensive things, and I am into my career and have a good job. And instead of going to Europe like I wanted to this summer, I went to the desert and camped on BLM land because it's free with friends, and it was a great time. But like, how are people doing this? Are you just like in mad debt and I don't know about it? Like, what are people doing? Everything is so freaking expensive.
Buy now, pay later.
Hello, it's just me, the lady with 40 plus loans. And I'm on vacation, but it's payday. Let's talk about it. I have a net pay of $3,117 biweekly.
Her background looks
I had a credit card that I paid on this one of $259, a personal loan, the one I'm trying to work on paying off, and I have about $800 saved towards it, and I think the payoff's $2,100, and that one is $325. And then I have another personal loan that I paid $118. I have another personal loan that I paid of $286. Then I had a $485 payment come out of a personal loan, and another personal loan for $140, another personal loan for $135.
She's living behind.
What am I doing with the rest of that money?
What?
Some of it is being spent on this trip because I believe in living. Point blank, I don't care. The other thing that I'm spending it on is whatever I have left over is going towards this loan. I think that I will have about $1,000 saved up. I do have credit card bills due here in the next couple days, but tomorrow after I get off the plane, the next morning, I'm getting up and I'm side hustling all day on Sunday and all day on Monday, the holiday, so that way I can work on paying all of those credit card bills off, so that hopefully I can have enough to finally pay off that loan of that's my $325 payment of $2,100 that I have left on it on my next paycheck.
All right, now, it's clear to see that a lot of these people, they never had financial literacy. They were bad at math. They couldn't add. All they know how to do is subtract and divide. It's a damn shame. I'm telling you, it's a shame. It's a shame. Listen, if you have children, make sure you teach them macroeconomics, financial literacy. Also, teach them the value of $1 and not to be an impulsive shopper. Also, they need to learn how to use credit cards. Debit cards is something I never swipe nowhere. A debit card is just simply there for me to park my money in the bank for payments. The other place I park my money at is stocks and crypto. See, you want to park your money where it can gain more interest, not where it's going to deduct. You don't want to start using your debit card. Listen, I used to be stubborn. I used to use cash. I used to look at people like, I'm not using credit. I got cash. I was being ignorant, me trying to show them that I don't need to live off of a credit system. But when I learned that in order to, do business in this society, you have to be part of the credit system and you got to play the game. So I don't care if something costs 50 cents, $1, $2. I'm using my credit card, right? And guess what? You get points for that. So then not only you're accumulating points, you can use those points towards travel where your vacations could be cheap and free. Hello. But the way they're doing it, since they don't have any knowledge of how to work with money, they're actually making the bank rich. So now tell me, have you felt like you were pressured to spend on a trip that you couldn't afford? Let me know in the comments. Keep it real. Don't front. Don't lie. Smash that like button for financial literacy and make sure you sub for more non-cap reactions. No capping over here, baby.